Alright, this is a garden update here in Nashville, Tennessee, above the floating deck garden. And boy, them blueberries are getting big as dimes over here, looking good. And I think my other blueberries are recovering a little bit. Since I poured the fertilizer to them, they kind of all puffed right back up again, so maybe they just need a little kick in the shorts. But boy, I'll tell you, these tomato plants are just like a jungle here. They're chest high already, and most of them are determinate. So some of them are indeterminate, and which means they'll keep right on going. And determinate means they stop at about chest height. Somebody made a comment on the channel, said I love to tend my tomato plants and I love the way it makes my hands smell. They just beat me to the draw, because I was going to do that same thing and tell everybody, just for fun, when you're out, rub your tomato plants just a little bit with your hand and then smell it. Man, doesn't that smell like every garden you ever raided? I mean, ever visited when you were a little kid? We were kind of laughing with the neighbors, said that stolen tomatoes taste a lot better than ones you give. So I just tell my neighbors, don't even tell me, just go over and steal them when you see there's a nice red one, because they taste better if you steal them. Now, I'm not about stealing or anything like that, but I do love stolen tomatoes. When I was a little kid, we used to take a salt shaker and run down the alley, and some of the gardens that were planted a little too close to the alley ended up in our belly. We would get some tomatoes, lick it, hit it with a salt shaker, and man, nothing tastes better than to eat them homegrown tomatoes out of somebody else's garden. We had a neighbor too that was really mean. They had a crabapple tree, and they wouldn't let us even have the crab apples that fell on the ground. But about 2 or 3 of their branches grew out over the fence and out over the alley. So we went by one time with a car and we threw a rope up over the top of them branches like a lasso, and we ripped about 100 pounds of crab apples out into the alley, and he let us have them after that. So that pretty much cured that problem. Let me see look at these little raspberries over here, doing really good. I notice they puff right up. You think they're going to be little, but right before they're going to turn red, they puff up. You know, you see these little ones, you think, well, that ain't gonna do nothing. Then all of a sudden, see this one? They just puff right up big, like overnight. See, they start out dinky, and you think, well, they're gonna stop there, and then all of a sudden, boink, they just puff right up there. Here's some down here. And these are not really even planted. They're just in this tub until I get my grow bags on Monday. But there's this one here is just absolutely too red, so I'm gonna have to. Outstanding. Fresh raspberries, nothing's better. Well, there's nothing really to report because the weather has been cold here in Nashville the last 2 or 3 days. But for the next 5 to 7 days, it's going to be in the 80s and even poke into 90. So watch these babies go. Grow, baby, grow. I noticed that the water, again, that tub right there is dry. But the one next to it that's got great big tomato plants, it's not empty just yet. This one here obviously is not empty. It's got some little baby tomatoes up at the top here. These plants are kind of yellowish. I think they're a little more in the shade, so they're not taking off as good as the other stuff that's out in the sun here. And again, these plants take exactly what they want. If you go to YouTube and type in Larry Hall rain gutter grow system, you'll see the whole system on how to plant all these this way. And the plant is smart. It takes exactly the water it wants, which I think is why I have such a plush garden. And it's perfect. Now that it's been cold, I haven't watered maybe once every 2 days. But now that the heat's going to hit, I could water as high as twice a day to fill these tubs. So that's because the plant knows what it wants. Anyway, this is Steve Hall in Nashville, Tennessee, saying this is a garden update for all you folks that are watching the channel. And if you like the updates, please subscribe to my channel and tell your friends. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.